Welcome everyone. Today on the podcast we have with us Sachin Kamath sir. Sachin Kamath sir is an artist, an investor, and also a startup founder. He's the founder of Lemon Academy and is also starting many other ventures. Welcome on the podcast, sir.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me. Very glad to be here. And I really appreciate what you're doing at your age. I wish I had the same mindset. So wonderful. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks a lot, sir. Uh, yeah.
All right.
Can you just tell us more about your academic journey, sir? Like what all things did you did earlier in your life, and what was the experience there about that?
Yes, definitely. So I am from a small town in Karnataka. It's called Dandeli.
Uh-huh.
Probably many people have heard of it. It has a natural forest, a reserve forest. It has water rafting. I think many people travel there for their vacations. Hiking as well, a lot of waterfalls. Dudhsaga's waterfall is pretty close by.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place. So I began I did my high school until I was there. My parents still live over there, so I keep going back every other time. Right after my high school, I was always very passionate about science and technology, like many others in this age. Especially, I wanted to become an aerospace engineer, so I decided to study engineering, mechanical engineering. I did it in NIT Surathkal. And
Yeah.
right after that, I moved to Bangalore. I got a job. I was there for 6 months. Job was really not something that I was very satisfied with back then. And I decided I will do my master's in aerospace engineering. That is how I went to Singapore. I did my master's and I got an opportunity to do my master thesis in Germany. And that's how I am currently in Germany. So yeah, that's the whole story how I ended up over here. My whole background has been in engineering. I've studied engineering all my life, been a technical lead at Procter and Gamble for the past 5.5 years until recently, 8 months ago, when I decided to quit and focus on my artistic journey, art and design, because that's where really my passion lies.
Wow, fantastic, sir. Tell us more about all the engineering journey, right? What all things did you learn about? What all learnings did you have in those years, right? And also your experience while doing thesis in Germany.
Right. Engineering, I would say it's probably many can relate to it.
Yeah.
As soon as I got into engineering, the first 2 years where I was not really a guy who studied so much. I wasn't so much interested in studies. I was playing a lot of Counter-Strike, but where my real engineering journey started was, I think, in the last 2 years where we started building a race car. So it was called Formula Student in a university, and it's pretty famous, pretty well known over here in Europe. A lot of university teams participate. So what we have to do is we have to build a Formula Student car. You use the engine of a motorbike and you build the chassis, the whole structure, the whole dynamics, everything by yourself in the university. So there was a team of 25 people whom we recruit from the university, and I was the team lead for it. So that was my most wonderful experience. I think I was mostly involved building this car. And that's when I learned few leadership lessons. That I was very much interested in designing of the chassis, like stress analysis of the chassis under different loading conditions, aerodynamics of the chassis. So all of this, we were working really hard, feverishly, like in the workshop, welding, talking to friends. The people you are working with, you were your friends, right, in the university.
Correct.
So it was wonderful. It taught me a lot, and it also gave me very important lessons in life. Um, One thing I realized is when I went to job interviews, how much you say that you have studied this, you have studied that, that didn't really excite them. But as soon as I brought up the topic that I built this car along with a team of 25 people, that's what sparks them, and that's what excites them to ask me more questions. What were your failures? How did you manage it? And things like that. So that helped me a lot in my career and in my life. I would say that is my highlight as part of my engineering journey. Absolutely loved those times, and I would definitely wish to go back and do things differently. Back then your mindset was completely different, and now you know how you need to think about everything, manage things, especially. So it's apart from that, it was, I would say, my my bachelor's thesis was also based on this car, which was the aerodynamics of this car. So we did some CFD analysis, right? We went to Indian Institute of Science, presented this to the professor, and the professor really liked the project. So he gave us a slot for a couple of days in their wind tunnel testing facility in Indian Institute of Science. So it was one of the biggest in India, and we could bring the entire car. I still vividly remember that image. I could bring the entire car along with my team. It was really hard work transporting it, getting it to there, all these logistics, managing things. We put it in the wind tunnel, and I have a lot of photos of it where, we would measure what is the air pressure around it, how much of air is flowing into the radiator, and all of this. It was super experimental. And my passion for aerodynamics and in the future studying aerospace comes from here. So that's I would say were my highlights during the engineering times. More bachelor's, yeah. And if you asked me about the masters, right? I did my master's in Singapore in aerospace engineering, and there was one subject which was material science, on where we were analyzing carbon fiber structures. And there was this professor, and his subjects, his teaching style really is something I really like. So what I did was I talked to the professor. I made sure I scored well in his subjects, and he gave me an opportunity to come to Germany, work under him, and do my master thesis on this Airbus reconnaissance aircraft. It was wonderful. So coming to Germany and the life in Germany is a totally different story. But that's how my academic and engineering journey formed those days.
Fantastic. What happened after your thesis, sir, in Germany? Like, where did you work after that?
I actually had applied for an internship at Procter & Gamble, and it was completely unrelated to what I was studying. Nothing with aerospace engineering, right? Procter & Gamble is a fast-moving consumer goods company. Procter & Gamble makes products like Head and Shoulders, Tide, detergents, stuff like that. So I applied for internship. I got the internship in Germany because I knew at that time I was going to Germany. And I was also very heavily involved in experimenting with the glue systems because of my fluid dynamics knowledge and background. And right after my internship, they offered me a job in Germany, which was in baby care. So I was making Pampers. So I was like the technical lead for making baby diapers. Again, completely unrelated to aerospace engineering, but I enjoyed it because it was really hands-on. In aerospace engineering, what happens is I did work for 6 months in an aerospace engineering company. What happens there is you require many years of experience to actually work on something exciting. Initially, you just, because it's very safety critical industry, you initially work on things to build your experience for the first couple of years, and that didn't really excite me. But in Procter and Gamble, I could experiment things. I could manufacture from the vendors, get that part. I could actually hold that part in my hand, what I designed, put it on the production line, test it. So that's what excited me, and I decided I would work there. Was working there until 5 years ago. It's a wonderful company. I enjoyed working there, but it's just not something that I wanted to do in the long term.
Got it. Fantastic. So you like more of like hands-on activities, right? That involve a lot of lot of research and thinking, right?
I would say yes. I like creating things. I definitely like science and technology and mathematics. I like to analyze things and create something new, something different. And then I would love to test it and also, actually put it into working for the purpose it's been designed to. So that's what I think I really enjoy doing.
Fantastic. Then when did the investing bug bite you, sir?
Yeah, I think it was one of the best bugs that bit me in the last 5 years. So that was like, I think it's I've heard this from a lot of people. It's very many people started investing because they got curious after reading certain books, and for me it was Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And I think it's also, I've heard many people say it is one of those books, especially Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I just got curious. I know it's very repetitive, right? But I think the repetitiveness in the book is what makes it stick into your heads. So that's that's what got me. And right after that, I started reading the Intelligent Investor, started following quite a lot of investors, really enjoyed their thought process, their mindset. I think what I liked was the mindset rather than the investing itself. So started studying about following Warren Buffett, going through YouTube videos, coming across many wonderful investors. And initially, I mean, as soon as I started reading the books, I was like, okay, why I'm definitely not going to get perfect at this in the next 1 year, right? It's a learning journey. So why not just start investing? And I remember the first stock I brought was AbbVie. It's a pharmaceutical company in US. It's listed in NASDAQ. So I just invested in that. Then I invested in Apple. I'm still a shareholder of Apple. So that's how it started. And along the way, I read so many books, Monish Pabrai, Peter Lynch, YouTube videos. There were so many of them. And I think during the COVID, it was the high time when I could spend a lot of my free time going through this. And that really made it very strong in me that I have to think long term. This is the right opportunity. And I loved saving money. I had a wonderful job. I had a good salary. I saved most of it. And I live very minimalistic life. So I actually enjoy that. So that lifestyle allowed me to save a lot and invest a lot. And that gave me, I think, I had a goal that 5 years down the line, I want to be financially independent, so that if I decide to change my jobs or to pursue my own interest, I should be able to do that. And that's what I think got me back then. And I still spend every day maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's like a habit now. It's like a routine now to to get to know the latest news. I already know the companies that I want to watch, right? I don't spend so much time looking after new companies because I feel my
Work.
time and passion I can devote to something else, right?
Yeah.
And I follow wonderful investors. I get ideas from them, and if something sparks my idea, I dig into them, read their transcripts
Thesis.
of the
Yeah.
investor calls, annual reports, and I keep doing it. But I think I've got a hang of it, and my horizon is very long term, so I don't really think what's going to happen next month, like that.
Got it. Fantastic, sir. What were your investing learnings after all these years you spent on investing, like researching companies? Right.
Sorry, I think I lost you in between. Could you repeat
Haha.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. My question was, what were all your learnings after investing and researching companies all these years been, like the key learnings?
Um, yeah, one key learning is investing is about saving first. If you don't have the money to invest, you cannot really invest, right? And the way that you get money to invest is initially you have to start saving.
Correct.
That's definitely one of the mindset. I mean, many people don't have this mindset. That is why it gets tricky in the beginning. But uh, once you know that um, the money that you have, like whatever money you think is required for your living, is the money is that you will spend for your everyday living. But if you say that no, you define your goals, I'm only going to spend this much, even if you drop it by a little less, you say no, next month I will spend 20% less. If you put that mindset and you put that money away, you will actually spend less. You'll be surprised to know how much less you need to actually live
Correct.
a healthy and
Correct.
decent life. I used to travel a lot. I've traveled to like 25 countries. I love these experiences, but I don't spend so much on, going to fancy restaurants and living in hotels. I enjoy the experience, and I know where I want to spend money to, which is to invest in myself, to invest in experiences, and that I don't shy away from. Um, but you should know what is really necessary, where you have to spend, and the rest you need to save. And don't just save it and keep it in the bank. Think of the ways where you can invest it, either in the stock market or in yourself. Uh, there are plenty of ways of getting returns out of it.
Got it. So basically, know yourself, right? Basically, know what are your needs and what are your
Yeah,
expenses. Basically, and sort your expenses out, because in the end, if you break your expenses, most of them will be just fancy things that you did that were not necessary, right? Most of it will be just useless things that you
right.
spent on, right? Correct.
Exactly. And you will be surprised to know how less you actually need to even live a very comfortable life. Yeah, don't need to deprive yourself of nice things. Like if you want to go and have a cup of coffee, please do it. But there are people who spend unnecessarily over, not in moderation. Everything in moderation is good, and you can definitely do wonderful by just living in moderation.
Correct. Fantastic, sir. My next question is, sir, what all things are you doing currently? Like, what are the projects that you are working on currently?
Yeah, that this is an exciting phase for me. I quit my job 8 months ago. Um, I was I was traveling. My the first thing that I planned was I really wanted to travel, and um, I knew I had certain money that I could spend. I planned
Yeah,
my whole thing that way. So I
yeah.
lived in Canary Islands, and in Portugal for 3 months. It was on my bucket list. I'm very glad I did that.
Yeah.
I learned surfing. I was learning surfing already, so now I'm a surfer. I had the
Wow.
fear of uh, waves, like deep depth. I wasn't a very good swimmer.
Yeah.
I would get a little bit panic attacks sometimes when you're in the deep and then you see a big wave. I still get it, but I can surf now. So that's something that I wanted to achieve when I did that, from not being a great swimmer and having fear of the depth to now going into the deep and actually surfing waves. That's something that I'm very proud of. So I focused on that for the first 3 months.
Yeah.
Parallelly, what I wanted to do was I wanted to, and I have been an artist and a creator from
Correct.
high school. What I didn't tell you is I make realistic pencil drawings, paintings. Like if you give me a photograph of someone, I can
Yeah.
actually create a realistic pencil drawing of it, and that's what really
Wow.
kept me going all these years. Like I would work, 9 to almost 10 hours every day, and during the weekends, this was like my getaway. It was calming, it was soothing, it was like meditation for me. So I decided this is what I will want to spend most of my time on. So I started doing more and more artworks.
Yeah.
And yeah, into artworks in the sense I was doing very traditional artworks before, like with pen and pencil, right? And
Correct.
with paints, with acrylic paints on a canvas. I
Yeah.
moved to digital media and I started more like automating things. I would have certain templates. I knew what I would make, and these digital tools make your life very, very easy.
Correct.
So it still requires a lot of creativity and it still has the same experience.
Yeah.
And I wanted to become good at it. And yeah, that's what I did a lot in the past 3 months, creating my own artworks. And they are mostly on topics like Indian culture. I try to portray Indian gods and goddesses
Yeah.
in most of my paintings.
Yeah.
They have a flowing background which build a sense of relaxation, and then there is one single subject, either idol of a god or idol of a human, a silhouette of a human. So it gives. I want to give the viewers the feeling of larger than life and a feeling of relaxation. So that was my goal in the past many months. I have been doing it very consistently,
Yeah.
and now what I'm focusing on is in the past couple of months I was brainstorming, and I have this entrepreneurial mindset in me as well. I'm part of the Y Combinator. I know you are as well. um, I have been brainstorming a couple of ideas. I had a
Yeah.
lot of interviews with artists, with people who want to display art at their home.
Mm-hmm.
One problem I faced was, as an artist myself, as a fine art artist,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's not just about creating art.
Mm-hmm.
After you create the art, you need to actually sell it, in terms of, like, if you're created a digital art,
Correct.
you need to sell your fine art prints. You need to find a good printing place
Yeah.
which can transform your work into on a really good canvas
Yeah.
with the right colors that can be transferred to it. Then there is the whole process of packaging and shipping. This takes a lot of time. And what happens is, when you add all this up, this is when the cost of an artwork goes up, it goes higher. And when you quote
Correct.
that price to your client, they say, this is too high for me. Um, I don't, it's too high. I'm not comfortable with it, but I really love your artworks. See, they love the artworks, but
Yeah.
since the price is high, many fine art artists lose out on clients. So
Correct.
I'm brainstorming on solutions to avoid this whole process, to streamline this whole process or outsource this whole process. So that's one of my ideas, where I'm heavily looking into what are the real motivations for people who buy art to display at their homes. and what is the problem that I can solve. And I'm launching an MVP on to solve this particular problem. It's called Art Brahma.
Wow.
I will launch it very soon, and yeah, I'm excited for it. And the other one is Lemon Academy,
Yeah.
and Lemon Academy is something I started along with my fiance around 6 months ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
when we were brainstorming on ideas, what is something that we would love to start? What is the problem we would love to solve? Um, she is a headmaster at school. She was headmaster at a private school. She
Uh-huh.
loves teaching kids. She loves interacting with kids. I've seen her do that, and I I'm very good at building things. Creating designs, creating websites, and also the entrepreneurial mindset, right? Getting things done, putting up a process behind everything. So this is when we decided, let's start an online school for kids on building growth mindset in them, because growth mindset is a very important concept, which is about teaching them how to overcome challenges, or how I wish I had this when I was growing up. This is also how I was like, yes, this is something that I would love teaching kids, because um, for example, what you're doing right now is as well with a growth mindset. You are trying out things. You are not scared of what's going to happen in terms of failures. You're just, it's important that you need to try out, experiment things, and go with the flow, and get out of your comfort zone. So this is something that we wanted to teach kids. We started building lessons on building confidence, building focus in them. But we faced some problems educating parents on why this is really important. So we recently pivoted to teaching, because I'm an artist and
Yeah.
I'm a designer.
Yeah.
I love creating paintings and drawings. We decided I can teach art creation to kids with the latest digital tools. There are wonderful tools right now. You don't really need these artistic skills anymore.
Correct.
Tools like
Correct.
AI art, Midjourney, Canva, Figma.
Ballet.
You can create wonderful things. Right,
Yeah.
Dali as well. So you can create wonderful things, and I am building this course. So I already have the course planned, and we have launched it actually. It's something that I really want to do, where I see that everyone can start creating art, and I want to empower everyone to be able to, um, not necessarily do it as a career, right? But people who are interested to just do it as an extracurricular activity, to get off their minds, like I was doing it when I was working during the weekends. This is like this it is a form of meditation, and this is what I would love to teach people, that they can create wonderful art as well. And it's not just about writing some text and creating art with these tools, these AI art tools that are text to image. It's about learning the whole fundamentals of visual design principles, typography, color psychology, design thinking, all of this, and then create AI art out of it. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Fantastic, fantastic, sir. Like I'm damn sure the viewers must have been learned the whole process of how to figure out a particular problem that a particular group is facing, and then how to build a product to solve this. Like what should be your mindset, right? All the best, and those who don't follow sir on Twitter, they should directly follow sir on Twitter. He posts amazing art designs and all the updates on the things he's learning about investing as well. Right. This has been like a fantastic 30 minutes conversation. So thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks, Jay, and yeah, thanks to all the viewers as well. I hope, yeah, you'll do wonderful. I mean, I've been telling this to you. We have interacted before, I wish you all the best, and I'm pretty sure you will do wonderful, and we will keep in touch, right?
Great. Thanks again, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Jay.